All right, I'm here with Connor Dykes.
Yes.
What's up, buddy?
Doing well. How are you?
Good, man. Thanks for meeting with me here.
Absolutely.
So, all right. So here's the project I'm thinking about doing. I've never been able to dunk a basketball. You know, I am definitely the worst basketball player you've ever met, even when I was young. Right?
Okay.
You know, I'm 47 now. What if by my 50th year, I could actually dunk a basketball? Like, how would I take on this project?
Yeah. So I think the great thing for you is there's already so many longevity cases of people being able to dunk, even entering their 50s. Like one of my good friends, Jeff Reed, who I mentioned to you, Kadur Ziani, George Hackenschmidt, all amazing success stories.
Yeah.
And they've been able to achieve this simply from training and consistently jumping.
Okay.
So I'd say for you, obviously, if you want to jump higher, you have to do that thing.
Yeah.
So jump consistently and with the intent of jumping as high as you can.
Yeah.
I'd say also doing other natural movements like sprinting as well work really great. And then just doing the opposite of that, which would be slow and low movements like a squat.
Right, right. And I'm sure like when you started ATG, what was your vertical leap and what was it since?
So when I was starting, I'd say it was like high 30, low 40 inches.
Well,
and
so already elite.
Yeah, already very good. And within a year, I was able to get it up to like 48, 49 inches.
Okay.
So I think it just goes to show the infinite potential we have. Like even if you like are at a pretty decent starting place, you're able to improve, but it also shows there's so much room for growth for someone that hasn't been in this part of like the journey before.
Yeah, right. I think I'm going to take on this project to slam dunk a basketball in my 50th year. That's about a 3-year project. I think that gives me enough time. I need a little help though. You're going to help me put together a program?
Yeah, I would definitely love to help and see how far you can get with it.
All right, let's do this.
Literally try and reach as high as you can. And from there, we're just going to mark it on the wall. And then what we'll do is we'll just measure that height.
You got it?
Yeah, I got the top here.
All right, so we got 7'7". 7'7" is my reach.
Gotcha.
Okay.
So if we subtract that from 10'6",
Yep.
that's about a little under 3 feet. So 10'6" minus 7'7" is 2 feet 11 inches.
Yeah, 2 feet 11-ish.
Which would be
inches.
35-inch vertical. Just
Okay.
about like if you want to dunk like pretty consistently, I'd say like off a lob or off the dribble, a 35-inch vertical is what you'd be shooting for.
Okay, so let's see what I've got for a vertical today.
Yeah.
All right, let's do it.
And then how we can measure that too. There's different ways to measure your vertical leap. There's a standing vertical, which is where you're just standing in place and jumping. But there's also a running vertical too. Typically, you'll need something like, you can measure that similarly how we did that against the wall. You could go up to like a wall that you don't mind maybe running into.
Yeah.
And touching as high as you can and doing the same thing we just did here.
Okay.
But if you have access to like a Vertec or a jump mat.
One of those vertical things. Okay.
Yeah, those work great. But for simplicity case, we can just measure the vertical here.
And if I can, from a standstill, hit 35-inch vertical leap, then I'm probably going to be able to dunk.
Yeah, pretty much. For the majority of people, their running vertical is also going to be better than their standing vertical.
Okay.
So there are some deviations there. But if you can jump 35 inches, that means you essentially could jump just from standing.
So that means I'll be able to dunk from standing.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that's a pretty good estimate.
All right, let's use that as maybe the goal.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. So let's see and this will show my vertical leap here.
Yeah.
All right. So let's do it. So what is this mat?
So it's a jump mat, and what it measures is it tracks once your feet leave the ground and then when they touch the ground again. So it's going to measure your hang time, essentially how long you're off the ground for, as well as how many inches you're in the air.
All right. Right on. Okay. All right. Here we go.
So that was 25 inches.
25?
Yeah.
So I need 10
About,
more
yeah,
inches.
pretty much 10 inches.
All right. So when you were at 40 inches, you were able to add 8 inches on top of that. So you were elite and you added 8. I'm definitely not elite. I'm below intermediate.
Yeah.
And I've got to add 10 inches. I'm a little older. It sounds like a doable project.
Absolutely.
Right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, a lot of it comes down to jumping and building strength. I think as long as you have those two consistently and like having progressive overload there, it's definitely achievable. Like I mentioned before, those longevity cases, there's people who are dunking like close to their 50s and beyond. So it's not out of the ordinary for something like that to happen.
So I'm already doing 3 days of strength training. So let's say I make some adaptations to that to incorporate the right lower body moves, you know, all of that. But like in all, for the strength training, for jumping, how much time per week do you think that this project would need?
Yeah. So honestly, I don't think you don't have to treat it like some massive obviously it's a huge goal,
Yeah.
but it's not, you don't have to train 7 days a week. I think honestly 2 to 4 times in the gym, plus a jump session. So I guess it'd be like 5 total sessions.
Yeah.
Would work out really well.
So you think 1 jump session a week or more?
Yeah. Well, the thing is, you don't want to necessarily do more because you're going for max intent.
Okay.
And the tendons do take a lot longer to adapt, but they also take a lot longer to recover too.
Yeah.
So you're going to want to rest after your jump days for maybe like 72 hours at least is what they recommend.
Yeah.
So you typically won't do more than 2 jump sessions a week.
Okay.
But the strength training side, you could probably do 2 to 4 times a week.
So I already have time. I'm already doing my strength training. It probably isn't additional time with strength training, maybe some adaptations to what I'm doing. But I'm looking at adding, what would you say, 1 or 2 jump days per week to make this project happen?
Yeah.
Okay. And how long is that training session? Is it an hour? Is it smaller?
Definitely not. Well, it'll depend from person to person.
Yeah.
When starting out, I would most definitely not do an hour. Maybe you might do 5 max jumps per jump plant.
Okay.
Which could maybe take as little as 15, 20 minutes.
How much rest in between each
I'd
jump?
say at least a minute.
Yeah, okay. So
No shorter than a minute is what you're going for.
Yep. So it's pure tissue,
Yeah.
sort of like the phosphate creatine system, right? And just that pure power.
Yeah.
So it's not a ton of volume.
Yeah, because the goal is max intent. Like imagine
Yeah.
trying to do your max effort squat like more than 5 times in a workout session.
Right.
Like
right.
our jumps are producing way more force, believe it or not, than what those huge squats are.
All right. I think I'm going to take this on. You want to help me put together a program, and I'll talk to others as well and take on this project?
Yeah, that'd be great.
All right. Cool, man. This is awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah.